In this video, we will drink and speak about Bai Ya Qi Lan, a very rare oolong tea from the south of Fujian that we are offering together with our private collection teas. And while doing so, we will tell you also how Caroline and myself discovered this tea while traveling in China. Hi guys, this is Gabriele from Nannuoshan and today I'm here with Caroline.
Hi!
As you know, here at Nannuoshan we share the pleasure of drinking and discovering genuine farm tea. If you're also looking to expand your tea knowledge and brewing skills, make sure to click on the subscribe button and more videos like this will come your way very soon. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up if at any point of time you enjoy watching. Today we are speaking about the tea of our private collection. This one here, we have only 2 samples of it and all the other samples are actually there waiting for shipment to happen to those of you that have subscribed our private collection. This tea was sourced by Caroline and myself together, so I thought it is a very good opportunity actually to have also Caroline on board because she participated in that tea tour and hopefully this time she will speak a little bit more than usual since actually she played quite an important role on that trip. Alright, so let's get a little bit started with the tea. I will open one tea bag, let's warm up some water here and then we get started. And in the meanwhile, I will tell you already some information about the tea. As I told you, it is called Bai Ya Qi Lan. Do you know what does it mean? We had a similar tea recently actually, Qi Lan.
Something with orchid?
Yeah, Lan means orchid, so Bai Ya means white bud. And Qi Lan is rare orchid, so it's the white bud rare orchid. And this is the name of a cultivar, not only the name of the tea, that was also actually discovered or developed in the 90s. So it's relatively recent and this is a peculiar cultivar developed in the Pinghe area. This is where we were.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why actually you can find this cultivar only in that area because it doesn't have widespread all around. As said, it comes from Pinghe in the south of Fujian, China, and it is from the harvest from 2017. So here it is the tea. It's fairly dark. It has been packed in these tiny vacuum sealed bags. I will try to bring it closer to the camera. Let's see if that works out. So it's a fairly dark small beads. Yeah. We have to get some air into it because I mean it has been sealed for a while and
it still smells really good. Yeah.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah. And I think these bags really keep the tea very well, so it's as if you had just packed the tea essentially.
Yeah, because it's a vacuum. And actually, as said, this tea is not on our website. It will be offered for those of you that were fast enough to subscribe our private collection, where we send every month one tea from our private collection. This tea is actually not my private collection. It is Matthias' private collection, because Matthias was also with us sourcing this tea. So you might ask yourself, why didn't we buy it for Nannuoshan as well? And the reason is that when we decided to go to this place, the reason why we decided to go there is because I wanted actually to provide Matthias and Caroline an experience of what does it mean sourcing tea in China. I didn't want to make it too simple. You know, there are other places, if we go to Fujian, where I have a lot of contacts, it's a little bit easier, but also not too complicated. And you know, sometimes sourcing tea doesn't work out as you imagine. So I really wanted that since we had only this opportunity together, that we select a place where it's a bit challenging and a little bit and not too complex. And we have selected this place actually because we had already a Bai Ya Qi Lan on stock and offer on our website. So there was really no reason to buy a new one. But I know that in this area other rare oolong are made, and so we wanted to see if we find something else even better. So, oh, it smells really good. Oh, I like that. Well, I have it, the guy went just in front of me, but very aromatic, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this tea, the last time I drank it is actually when we sourced it. Because only Matthias took this sample because he really liked that, and took this sample along with a 15 years old Bai Ya Qi Lan that was given to us as a present. And shall we wait?
So it smells very buttery. So I remember this tea as being like yeah, quite fragrant, quite floral and green. But it also, like, now that I drink it again, well, at least smell it again, it smells, you smell this butter. So it's really nice.
It's a lot of leaves, yeah, that I put the whole bag, is maybe 8 grams. It's a fairly large guy one, but you know, use the filter. And what I wanted to tell you. So yes, it wasn't a big you know, responsibility to go there. Even if we don't find any tea, never mind, we have already a Bai Ya Qi Lan on stock. As a matter of fact, actually we bought 2 other teas, and I will tell you soon about that as well. Shall we do a first short?
Yep, short.
Okay.
As many leaves.
Yeah, it's many leaves. Yeah, we don't want to oversaturate the taste. Alright, so while you serve the tea, I have actually here some pictures that I want to show you, to Caroline but also to you, that we took while we were traveling there. So I made a little bit of a selection here so that we can share with you how it is actually sourcing tea there. Well, first of all, how we did come in contact with this producer. A friend of a friend. So years before, you don't know this story, years before, a friend of a friend told me a contact in Fuzhou. It was a rich lady. I met only her that one day actually, and she has some good connection with, how to close this? Yeah. Some good connections with some farmers in Fujian, not only for rare oolong but also for Huishan. She has really a good Huishan connection. We didn't buy any Huishan from there, but I remember her Huishan. But why I asked for her contact is because she had connections with farmers from Jumping Fujian and Bai Ya Qi Lan. Anyway, she's so influencing about these people that she convinced those to come to Fuzhou, which is 3 to 4 hours drive, on one afternoon, just to meet me and then drive all the way back the next day, just to present me their tea. In that occasion, years before, I bought the Jumping Fujian, but I didn't buy Bai Ya Qi Lan because I had it already. And so this was also a way of, you know, paying back the attention of the farmers that drove to Fuzhou for me and visiting him as well. And we went there by train and car. And here in this picture you see actually when we were driving by car up the mountain. So you see it's not lowland, it's pretty high mountain, and you see actually no tea fields. What you see underneath that big tree on the left is actually pomelo trees. And here you see more pomelo trees the farther we go up the mountain. At a certain point, the pomelo trees start sharing the field with tea bushes that we have here on the left. Because tea bushes are grown at a very high altitude, where pomelo trees are no more suitable for that climate, so right above 1,000 meters altitude. You remember that?
Yeah, our car kind of broke down, so it started smoking. So yeah, they had to call some people, and well, they didn't really, I remember they didn't really do a proper fix. They just brought some water to pour over the
to pour over the motor. But we waited there like half an hour at least.
But it was quite nice. The landscape was really beautiful, so it didn't seem like it was.
You know, it's just that the driver was so enthusiastic of his Land Rover that was driving really fast up the mountain, and it was just too steep, and he overheated the motor. But anyway, here we arrived. So here we are going with Caroline and Matthias actually to pick some leaves. And you see here Matthias in a great outfit picking the leaves for the process in the afternoon. and we made it just for fun, actually, not really for participating to the harvest. And here we just take a picture of this big bag because that farmer has a local organic certification. I mean, it's nothing that has to do with Europe, but they had measures to keep the use of fertilizer to a very, very minimum. And so we just saw this big bag on the tree, and we take a picture of it. What about the tea?
So the tea is very floral. So when you taste it, it's a bit green. It has something of a
that one.
Tieguanyin, sorry.
Tieguanyin. Yeah, well, it's not too far, right?
Yeah.
Tieguanyin is not too far. Anxi Tieguanyin, the region, is not too far.
So without the crazy bitterness of Tieguanyin, but yeah, it's really something that you still have in the mouth afterwards. It's really stays nicely in the mouth. So the buttery taste, the buttery smell that I smelled before, like, is less when you drink. It's more like when you smell the leaves.
And you have it is fairly well oxidized, actually. It's a little bit roasted. Is relatively dark. We have a lot of leaves inside, so now I will do really a flash brewing. I don't want to get bitterness, and I want to keep the florality in there, so really I hurry up.
So far there's no bitterness, and it's pretty smooth, so it's not astringent like maybe some Tieguanyins are. It's really nice. It's not, yeah.
And you know what? Yeah. You know, when we offer tea from the private collection, if it is my private collection, I know what I bought. If it is the one from Matthias, it's not that he doesn't, you know, he doesn't like good tea. But in that case, we didn't pick up this tea because it was, you know, exceptionally good. Just because it was the experience. We were there for 3 days. Was nice. Was a good tea, and so he bought a little bit for himself, and no other reason. But I have to say that it's really good. Like, I would buy this for Nannuoshan as another Bai Ya Qi Lan if I would have the opportunity. The problem is that this farmer, and this is an issue sometimes, is not very consistent with quality. Or I wouldn't say with quality, what with processing. So years later, last year actually, and the year after, so 2 years ago, I ordered samples from him twice to send them to Shanghai to taste. And it was always too strong, too roasted, a little bit unpleasant to me. The florality was gone, and I wasn't able to source it anymore. So Bai Ya Qi Lan is sold out now, and I will continue with him. I could try with other farmers, but actually once you have visited the gardens, you know the way they do agriculture, the way they take care of the plants is kind of, I don't know if you remember, when we went out in the tea garden the first time, there were 2 ladies under the sun. They were removing all the weeds from underneath the bushes. That's a painful work, so they don't use any herbicides, but they go by hand and remove all the weeds, you say, right, from underneath the bushes. So once you have seen that, you really want to continue sourcing from the same farmer, but the quality of the taste also to match. And Caroline, let me show you some more pictures actually. So after the tea garden, you remember that we went back to the small factory. You see that we are fairly high on the mountain. It was pretty much the peak of the mountain here, and they start distributing the tea under the sun for a short withering, so that to reduce the water content. Here you see that they put on this white dress and hats, just because we told them we're going to take pictures, and they wanted to appear, you know, professional, and so they went inside and took on this cap so that they show everything is hygienic. And this this was lunch break. We had a whole chicken here. And this is the indoor, so you continue to wither indoor, and then you see here on the left side the I would say that this cylinder that rotates. I cannot find now the word. The tumbler where you initiate oxidation. And here you see that then the lady take the leaves out of the tumblers and dispose them on these bamboo mats for oxidation actually. And this picture here is the Tulo, and now I would say go ahead and speak about that, because I remember how beautiful it was, but I don't remember much about it, and I'm sure you do.
So these are the famous Tulo. These are round structures made out of earth. So it's essentially, I think if I remember correctly, so Tu is earth and Lo is like house or story. Usually.
Right, that's for sure. Lo means story, yeah.
And so usually families used to share, different families used to share two loaves, and they each had a sort of small share of the donut. So, and they used to own all the floors. So
basically the picture that we see now, a family would have only one door of those that we see in the bottom, and they would own everything upstairs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all the floors had different functions. So they would store.
How do you remember all this?
They would store things on certain levels and live in other levels. So I think the ground floor was probably to keep animals and stuff, and probably they stored. I'm not sure on this, but you could see really that there was a way of communal living. So here you can see a shrine. So they also have this kind of shrine in the Tulo. So you can really see that. Yeah.
And this is the inside, right? When you go up the stairs to the next low, to the next story.
To the next floor.
Yeah.
It's really nice, really cute. I think it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it's
so authentic also because it's a UNESCO World Heritage, but people are still living there.
Yes.
It's not just for exposure.
Of course, there's a lot of tourists by now, so.
It was quite touristic. I mean, no foreigners.
But it's local tourists, of course.
It's local tourists. So if you organize a trip in the southern China, this is something that is not very well known in the West, the Tulo, but is really worth visiting. It's not only one location. It is a certain large area where the Tulo are still in some villages, because at that time there were many of them. I don't know how long ago, and those that remains today are still in use. I put it here. So it's starting getting really a darker amber color. It has a characteristic for me, is a floral nutty taste, I would describe it. It's both components, probably the nuttiness because of the roasting, definitely, and it has a sweetness to it, definitely, and it reminds me more brown sugar rather than it's not cane sugar, it's not normal sugar. It has this this roughness a little bit to it.
Yeah, and it feels very warm, warm in the taste.
I really like it.
And there's really this powerful vegan, so it'll stay in your mouth for a long period of time.
Yeah.
This is why it's great. Yeah.
You have a long floral sweet vegan that remains in your mouth. So I'm happy, guys, that we're going to send you this tea. It wasn't an expensive tea, but it's definitely worth our private collection. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that, or maybe it's fortunate, I don't know, that Bai Ya Qi Lan and jumping Fujian are not very popular. Now that in the past year TEAWARE is going down in China, people are stopping buying TEAWARE. I hope that there will be a little bit of a renaissance of these less well-known cultivars, because they are really worth the price. And also the farmers, they have, with respect, they have nothing less than the farmers that do TEAWARE. Why they should have so hard time in finding customer?
But I think the farmer we visited was expanding quite a lot. When we visited him, he was building a huge facility. So for usual standard, I would say that the factory had about 10 people working there already. Well, you've seen a little bit in the picture. And a big, maybe 500, 400 square meter halle where they were processing the leaves. And we bought there also Jinmudan, another very modern cultivar from this millennium, and Pomelo, which is a tea that people either like or don't like, because Pomelo was a black tea
now it's sold out. But it was a black tea that was flavored with pomelo flower.
Yeah, scented with the flowers. Yeah.
With the flowers from
Yeah.
the trees that are growing around the tree. So it's a very local merging, if you want, between the tea trees and the flowers of the trees that are growing on the same mountain. And we have, for example, Jens that really love that tea. And Caroline, I don't think you don't like it very much. It's too strong,
like
too intense.
Yeah.
So it depends. It's definitely a very natural taste, but is also very, very intense. Anyway, it's sold out, so whatever. So this is Bai Ya Qi Lan. I managed to have Caroline speaking a little bit more in this video.
If you let me speak.
If I let you speak, that's also always an issue, right? That I speak too much. And but I mean, that's why we compensate each other. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and go ahead. Look, Caroline, it works like that. Like this, like this. Go ahead, give us a thumbs up. And more video like this will come your way very soon. Bye, guys. Soll ich dir das beibringen? Ist ziemlich lecker.
Ja, ich mag das. Das ist recht stark, ja.